What would you do if your neighbor tried to sell your lake? What if they called the FBI on you for trespassing on your own land? And what if you had the chance to buy their lot and block their entire community out? That's exactly what happened to me. Stick around, because this isn't just about petty revenge. It's about how I turned HOA hell into the sweetest justice you've ever seen. You ever had a neighbor so entitled, so absolutely drunk on imaginary power, that they thought they could sell part of your land, and then call the FBI on you when you called them out? Yeah, that happened. I live on a quiet spread in Texas, 10 acres, a private lake, no fences between dreams and sunsets. Until the HOA got involved. Correction, Karen from the HOA, blonde bob, clipboard of doom, and a sneer like she smelled poor people on the wind. One Monday morning I saw it, a for sale sign, right in front of my lake. Karen Realty Group, private lakefront property, access included. My jaw hit gravel. I didn't authorize anything. No one did. But Karen decided my lake belonged to the HOA, and she was listing it as a community feature. I confronted her. She said, if you didn't want the lake used, you shouldn't have bought near an HOA. Next thing I know, she called the FBI on me for trespassing on my own dock. Spoiler, that backfired. But what she didn't know was that I had an ace up my sleeve. A clause, a legal easement, and cash, lots of cash. Because Karen didn't realize her own access road to the HOA walking trail was privately owned by me. I just hadn't done anything about it yet. Stick around, because what happened next turned HOA hell into the ultimate revenge. Let me rewind. I bought this ranch 3 years ago, after retiring early from oilfield consulting. It had everything I wanted: distance, land, water. I even got a deal because the parcel technically sat adjacent to an HOA development called Pine Creek Reserve. Think, cookie-cutter McMansions wrapped around imported sod lawns. I didn't mind. My lot was technically outside their legal bounds. I had my own access road, my own well, my own septic. And the jewel of it all? A 3-acre spring-fed lake. But here's where the legal tango begins. See, decades ago, the original rancher who subdivided the land granted a narrow walking easement through his property, so Pine Creek residents could access a community trail. That trail, by the way, looped right behind my lake. I didn't care. It was barely used, and the trees offered plenty of privacy. Then Karen moved in. Her real name? Cynthia, but the nameplate on her mailbox said, Karen. James, HOA board presidents, yes, plural, like a monarchy. First encounter? She knocked on my door holding a basket of gluten-free cookies and a clipboard. We'd like to invite you to opt in to Pine Creek HOA. That way, your property values will be protected. I politely declined. She left a pamphlet anyway. 2 weeks later, a letter arrived. The HOA was reviewing shared community assets and asked me to confirm ownership of the lake. Red flag. I sent back a certified letter with my deed, survey maps, and a post-it that said, not yours. Stop asking. A month passed. Then I saw Pine Creek's new marketing flyer. Front cover, a happy couple paddleboarding. Enjoy private lake access as a Pine Creek resident. They had photoshopped my dock. I confronted the HOA president again. We believe the lake falls within shared recreational jurisdiction, per our interpretation. My response? Your interpretation can suck it. She wasn't amused. That was the beginning. It started small. One morning, I woke up to find 2 HOA no swimming signs nailed to my trees. Then a group of teenagers showed up with floaties, saying they were told it was cool now. Then came the fines. Yes, fines. Envelopes labeled lake usage violation. $75 started showing up. I laughed, then shredded them. She escalated. One day a landscaping crew showed up, claiming the HOA had scheduled lakefront beautification. I told them they were trespassing. They left, but not before trimming one of my live oaks into a poodle-shaped horror. Then came the ultimate move, the for sale sign. When I saw it, my vision went red. I marched over and demanded it be taken down. She stood on her porch, arms crossed, sipping from a mug that said, "Don't mess with the board. You're being unreasonable," she said. I said, well, the community's about to be gated out. That's when she called the FBI. This man is harassing me. He's trespassing on community property. They arrived. I showed them my deed. They nodded, then warned her. Small win. But it wasn't over. Later that week, I found a family picnicking on my dock. The lake had been listed on Zillow. I filed a cease and desist. She laughed. That's when I remembered the easement. And her lot. See, her house sat on a corner. And her back gate? It used a gravel road that technically crossed a small, narrow strip of land. A forgotten parcel from the original ranch. Owned by a shell LLC I had inherited when I bought the ranch. A parcel I had never touched. Until now. Time to fight back. First step, I hired a land use attorney. He confirmed what I suspected. Not only was that parcel mine, but the HOA had been illegally maintaining it as part of their access trail. And her lot. The back gate and her fancy little walking path encroached on it. Second, I had the parcel surveyed, fenced, and posted. Third, I bought a lot. A specific lot. Next to hers. The owner had been desperate to sell. I offered cash. Full asking. Within 10 days, I owned the vacant parcel next to her house. Then I submitted a request to the county to build a barn on it. A red one, with a 12-foot privacy wall facing her yard. The barn was approved. The fence went up first, overnight. She came out screaming. "You can't do this! This violates HOA sightline rules." "I'm not in the HOA," I said, remember? She tried to protest to the county. Didn't work. I had all the permits. I added a giant sign on the barn wall. "Private land, no access, trespassers. Will be prosecuted, looking at you. Karen." Then came the cherry on top. I locked the gate. Installed a keypad. No more trail access. Then I sent an invoice to the HOA for 3 years of back use of my easement. 14,600, they balked. I sued. Court was delicious. My lawyer laid it out. Maps, deeds, survey footage, photos of signs, and all the HOA flyers using my lake. Karen, representing the board, tried to claim historic use. The judge said, "That's not how property law works." Verdict in my favor. Full damages, plus court fees. Karen was livid. HOA dues went up. Residents started asking questions. Then came the fallout. Turns out, she never told the board about the lawsuit. She had acted alone. Tried to flip the lake as a selling point to boost her realty commissions. She was voted out. Her husband left. Their house? Listed? By a different agent. Oh, and that lot I bought next door? I sold it to a couple with 3 kids. One of them plays the drums. Outside. All. Day. But here's the final. Play, as a goodbye gift, I installed a decorative metal sculpture on the barn facing Karen's old yard. It spells out, "Know your boundaries." Looking back, it wasn't about the lake. It was about power. Karen thought she could take what wasn't hers because no one had ever stopped her. But sometimes all it takes is someone who knows their rights. And a good surveyor. I don't like drama. I didn't move to the country to deal with HOAs and their suburban wars. But I also didn't move here to get steamrolled. So if you ever face someone like Karen, remember this. The law's quiet. But it doesn't mean it's weak. Comment below, what would you have done? And if you made it to the end, type, "Justice served." I read everyone. Oh, and to the Pine Creek board still watching this channel, don't worry. I'm done, unless you try again. Then we start season 2, spoiler. I just bought the pond on the other side of the trail. See you next time.